seems that many English learners feel lost. They're not sure what to do. They don't know exactly what to study. And so they feel lost sometimes. And why is that? Well, I suggest that they have no clear guiding learning theory to light their way. Now, when I say the word theory, Siri is going to turn on my office here, so please ignore her. Yeah? So why do we need a good theory to guide us? Well, without a good theory, we will probably waste time and energy with methods that don't work best. A good theory is backed by science, supported with evidence, and so we want to follow a good theory and use methods that work best so that we can save time and energy. So what's the most basic theory for learning English and any language for that matter? Well, here it is. It says we acquire languages by understanding messages. We acquire languages by understanding messages. This theory comes from Dr. Stephen Krashen. It's not the only theory. There are many other theories, but I think this is the most basic theory for learning English and any language. We acquire languages by understanding messages. So what's the point of this theory? Well, for one, we need to understand messages, right? We need to understand tons of messages. Now, understanding means that the level of the message is understandable. That's a key point. Sometimes English learners use material that's too hard and too difficult, and then it becomes boring and you want to give up. So we need to understand messages at the right level. And of course, everybody knows that stories work best. Stories work as the most powerful way to put language in your brain. So understand tons of messages and ideally understand tons of stories because they work best. Well, what's another point? Another point is the key word acquire. For Krashen, acquire is different than learning. And so the idea of acquisition or acquiring a language is that you learn it or you get it automatically. It's automatic. You feel, you can use it with a feeling. You just know how to do it, right? So you get automatic usage with the language because you've got lots of input. Lots of input comes in and your language is acquired because it works automatically for you. So you need lots of input. So acquisition or acquiring a language seems to push us to get lots of input. And with lots of input, we reach this level of automaticity, being automatic with the language. So how can we walk in the light of this most basic theory? Well, one simple answer is you can read and listen to lots of stories at your level, at the right level. Read and listen to lots of stories, tons of stories, mega stories at the right level. Okay? And here is a simple call to action for following the theory that we acquire English by understanding lots of messages and lots of stories. So the first one is called big, easy, enjoyable reading. Usually when you do reading for pleasure, you need to understand about 98% of the words in the story, or it's too difficult. When you know 98% of the words in a story, you can guess the unknown word from the words that you know. You can do also the same thing with listening to stories and listening to text and books. But when you do that, you probably need to know 100% of the words in that. So you can do it for pleasure. This is pleasure reading, pleasure listening, and the level needs to be right. Another thing that you can do is watch dramas. First, you can watch the drama, English drama, of course, if you're learning English, with subtitles in your language. So if your native language is Japanese, watch the English drama with Japanese subtitles. You can watch the whole series of dramas, maybe 20 shows, with the Japanese subtitles or the subtitles in your language, and then watch it again, but this time with the English subtitles, and then you can watch it again with no subtitles. This is kind of a famous story from the leader of the Korean K-pop band who learned English with the famous drama Friends. This is exactly how he did it. You can also, for example, cook with English recipes. So English recipe, understand it, make the food, and eat the English that you or eat the food in English as you would. And then lastly, you can play games and do sports in English. You're getting input, understanding messages as you play. And so that's a good way to apply the theory, or these are 5 good ways to apply the theory that we acquire languages by understanding messages. There are many other theories, but this one is the most basic one. We acquire language, we acquire English by understanding stories and messages. I am Dr. Joseph Polshock, aka Dr. Shock. I am an expert English coach. I'm an expert English coach at languagesuperpowers.com, and I am the content creator and editor at ReadOasis.com. Thank you for listening.